Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Sure. Sure.
Oh, great. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah. Is there anything y'all are excited or interested in talking about? I can make sure to throw that to you so that you get that in.
Mm. Donald
No,
Trump. No.
no,
No. No
not
more
really.
Trump.
No, I don't. Anything really.
Music.
Life.
That works.
Music.
I've got plenty to get to, so I can definitely do that.
Oh yeah, cool.
Don't.
Can you see it?
That was nice.
Words. Gjorde du åkte du skridskor eller?
Ja, det var, de har på tisdagen har vi sån här typ, vad säger jag, slags kroppsstyrketräning som är skridskoimitationer. Vi alla matcher. Vi har också visst du kunde då? Sofia som jag får med.
What's going on, y'all? You just heard Where You Belong by Little Dragon. My name is Dexter Thomas. I'm a correspondent with Vice News. And this is a little series we put together called Receiver because we're in some strange times now, but we're all going through these strange times together. And so this is just a series where we check in with a new artist every week. We talk music, we talk life, we talk about how they're getting through all this. And again, for this instance, for this episode, we have Little Dragon. What's up, y'all?
Hey, good to be here.
Yeah. How are you?
You know, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there, which I guess is the theme of things nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, for people just jumping on, I'm gonna be talking with Little Dragon and all four members. It's really dope to have everybody here. And if you're in the Facebook chat, if you're in the YouTube chat, feel free to throw questions in there. We'll take some of the good ones and throw them in there. So first up, tell me a little bit about that song that we got to hear right now.
Yeah, it's called Where You Belong. It was written with us together and also a friend of ours from high school called I Guess. So it kind of started like guitar, vocal track. And yeah, it's about, a song about somebody who's not here anymore, missing somebody, closing your eyes and feeling the presence of someone who's not actually present. So, yeah.
So on a lot of, if we can just talk lyrics, speaking of which, in a lot of the lyrics, I always feel that you could take it a bunch of different ways, right? So this one is this song, is it for somebody that, it's a past relationship, or is it just somebody you miss? Or what did you have in mind when you put the lyrics for that together?
It's not a past relationship or anything like that, but I had somebody in mind. But I wanted to write it in a way where it could, be about somebody who, maybe wasn't. It doesn't necessarily have to be anyone who passed away. It could be somebody who's not present in your life or who's just, with you in your heart, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I also got to say, I dig the bass line on that. So can I hear a little bit about how the music for that came together?
Oh well. Yeah.
Yo, you doing your thing on the bass, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Thanks. No, yeah, it started as like a guitar track, and then we wanted to add a bit of layer of funkiness to it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's quite a moody song, but it's nice to mix it up with some slap bass and some funky drums and funky keys.
Yeah. I always admire because sort of for my own self, I feel like this is easily a track I could cry to if I think about the people I miss. But at the same time, to have like a slap bass, it makes me cry even harder, and also laugh because I feel like it's such a contradiction to have somebody singing about something really sad, but the bass player is just,
Oh no, yeah,
totally get it, but
it's like crying with shades on.
yeah.
It's like crying, but you feel real cool about it. It's, yo, I'm crying, I'm emotional, but I look good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
And there's some
so
well, Eric, I think
Yes.
you can demonstrate it. But,
Here is the harp. It's a bit out of tune, but it's been this harp has been laying around in the studio for a long time. It's actually Håkan's daughter, I think.
yeah.
And she is what, 8 now?
Yeah. Almost.
Yeah. I've heard that you told me that it's okay that we use it, but soon she will need it back.
But it ended up on pretty much every track on the new album.
Yeah.
She stopped asking for it.
Yeah.
So here it is.
No, but I feel like the process in how this song was made, like instrumentation wise and stuff, is probably quite representative that process is represents most of the tracks. You know, it's been a lot
Mm,
of demos that has been given a new shape and a new coat, that I think we all felt that it was important that it was all of us, and we also had the desire to go back to playing. You know, so like there's live bass on most of the tracks, if not all, and
Live
live
drums.
drums and keys has
yeah.
always been played pretty much live, and that was
Yeah, and not always by me.
no, and not always by Håkan perhaps, and but yeah, I think, isn't it like when we started playing real instrument, I feel like it was quite easy to feel the music rather than have it all
Mm,
programmed, and then it can be, you have to work pretty hard to make programmed music grab you, you know. Sometimes I feel, I don't know.
mm.
Could
I
Could,
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
be,
Who knows?
that could
Somehow.
be a fact, but we're not sure.
well, so I mean, I feel like especially with this record, it's hard to describe because I was talking about this with one of my friends. It's not. This sounds like to me. This sounds like a progression to me, but there's a lot about the title that really makes sense when I listen to the when I think of the title, right? Because new me, same us, right? That it's definitely the same group, but there is something different about it. Could you tell me a little bit about the album title?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think we as a band have definitely gone through, different chapters with every release and every album.
Mm,
And that's like on a band level, but also like on a personal level. I think that everyone's kind of on their own inner journey. And, I mean, like when you were, I mean, in a family, basically, you are like labeled as something, you're like the big sister or the big bro, the mom or the dad, but you can be completely different. But these labels can kind of set you for life sometimes. And I think that
mm,
that's kind of become like that in a band sometimes, like, oh, that's the, blah, blah, blah person, and that's the blah, blah person. And you identify yourself with these characteristics. And with time, like, we might change like crazy, but we're still identifying each other with these characteristics. So I guess we just wanted to, like, you know, wipe things clean and be like, we feel new, but it's still us. And then on a like um, philosophical level, I guess we wanted to, like, we like the idea of, um, as you die, you change form, but we're still of the same universe. We're still um, just, we don't disappear. Like a cloud doesn't disappear; it becomes something else. So yeah, we
mm.
just like that that metaphor of, you're separate but you're still unified.
Yeah.
Is that so? That feels kind of like a new thing for me. Not new, but more emphasized. Something like mortality. I don't know that I necessarily expected to talk about that today.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I guess like it's something that's been a theme. I don't know, like for some of us, I guess, on different levels. But yeah, I guess also like just having been a band for a while, being together, it's like you realize you've gone through ups and downs together, and
Mm,
and you realize that, uh, certain moments you felt immortal, like, certain moments you felt like things were just like, we felt like the up and coming band forever. Like, we felt like we're
mm.
up and coming, we're up and coming, and then all of a sudden we're like, hold on, are we not up and coming anymore?
What are we then?
What
Yeah.
are we then? Wait.
About to die?
Yeah, and then you kind of went through a dip, and then you found yourself back, and like, and we're happy to still be here, but it's like, it's I think on a personal level, people go through those kind of phases as well. Like when you're in your 20s, like you're you know, you're invincible. Um, Sometimes some people might feel that way, others not. But
Mhm.
so I don't know. I kind of
No, but
wandered off, but
no, but yeah, definitely. I mean, I also me on a personal level, I feel like I'm like I. It struck me like 2 years ago that I actually also me is going to die at some point, and it kind of I was surprised, and it sort of it hit me very at first. I think for a long time I was trying to not feel it, and then eventually when you dare to face your mortality, you set yourself in a very fragile state because you have to express your that you're afraid, that you don't know what's gonna happen to yourself or to the ones you love, and so I think maybe that was something that we somehow, since we meet every day basically when we are here, and over the last years we spend a lot of time talking about how we feel about everything, and of course I think that this theme of mortality and what, why are we here, and very big existential questions are have been
Yeah,
taught a
those are
lot
some big
about.
questions.
Yeah. But I think in a very as a very positive outcome of all these talkings, we realized, I think, that
We
fuck
need slap
this.
bass.
Yeah, we need slap bait. This is beautiful. We have the chance to keep on talking to each other and let not each other uh, stagnate. Like
Get stuck.
get stuck, and there's room for development, and we can all be what we want to be, and we can allow each other. I think for many years, maybe the band and the momentum and everything kind of makes you lose control over the band. The little dragon was the thing that it felt like at stages that we couldn't control. It was making us tired. It was even though we were very thankful for all the positive things, but
Mhm.
there were moments where we felt like, wow, this is really just going and going and going, and then what? Then you die, sort of. You have to pause the machine a bit and you know look at it
um,
and be home. I think
Uh,
it's a spiritual awakening in a way, isn't it? I mean, it's
This
when you
record for
talk
you, you
about
think
things.
it is?
Yeah, oh yeah, at
well, it's
least for
definitely
me,
the
yeah.
existential phase of the
Mm,
band.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yo,
good to stop and think about what you're doing and reflect, and just because it's easy to get caught up in in something, and I mean
Anything.
in
and that's
anything.
what's interesting
Yeah.
right now. It's like now is a good time to reflect
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're
because everyone's
forced.
home,
Yeah.
forced to reflect on how we live and what
Yeah.
we're doing.
yeah, yeah.
Because
It's a weird timing in a way that the whole world is freaking out now
Yeah, I
and
was like, even with
about their
the
mortality.
even with the first release, we released the "Are You Feeling Sad" with the Kaliuchis version, and her lyrics actually really was kind of felt like it was about that to me.
Mhm.
But and it was almost like there were people who were like, "So, did you write this about this whole Corona thing?" We're like, "No, I mean, nothing was planned,
Let's make it.
but it actually,
Right.
yeah, no, it's oddly enough."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so, and before we jump into something else, I definitely want to remind everybody once again, if you're just jumping in, we're talking to Little Dragon here on Receiver. And if you're in the chat, feel free to throw in some questions. We're going to try to get to those as well. But as you were saying, it is weird because even looking at the track list, there's a couple tracks on there where it's just, this is weirdly relevant. This
Yeah.
feels really weirdly relevant, right? But you're right. This is a time where, I mean, you're stuck inside, and how are you going to deal with that? You know, how are you going to change? How are you going to sort of confront yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's interesting that that's sort of already built into the album.
yeah,
Yeah, well, I think like it's a gift, you know, if you were creating something and you have time to reflect, it's like, you know, you start questioning everything. I think that a lot of artists do that naturally. You kind of naturally just like, you know, why are we living like this, and why let me write about this because this is crazy, or you know, you travel and you see something, and you know, you might not always, you know, be saying what's right or wrong, but you know, you're just reflecting on it. So I think that that's why what's cool about now, like people are being super creative and
Mm. So
it's flowing.
you talked a lot about y'all talked a lot about how this album has, you know, some of the stuff behind this album, right? Do you think you could have written this album, say 5, 6 years ago?
No, I don't think any album is like I mean, every album is written in where what state of mind you are at that moment, and it's very meant to be in that way. So I think that goes for all artists. You know, it's like there no moment is the same ever. So whatever you're making at that moment is for you know just coincides with the time and what's in your inner life and what's going on around you. So no, I don't think that would have been possible.
What were the discussions like when you're deciding? Because it sounds like the process was pretty different for this album. What kind of discussions were you having about, okay, let's make this song sound like this? What was that like?
What?
I mean,
I don't think
I
there
don't know.
were a lot of discussions really. It was more a general approach that, you know, I remember when you said, "Fred, I want to play the bass," you know, and on a lot of our albums, there's a lot of like synth bass, and I mean, how me and Fred met when I was 16, you were probably 17. You were playing the bass, I was playing the drums. It was very simple, and over time, it turned into a more synthy world, which is we love that as well. But I think it was we had like talks about that. I remember when you said I want to play more bass. I want to, you know, and and I think we would like, okay, let's do it. So
Yeah.
that was like the general approach for like every it felt like every song was like, okay, so now let's record the bass, you know, and so and some bass turned funkier than expected. No. No. I mean, with the drums also, I don't know. I know Håkan has developed an allergy toward the hi hats. So I tried me as a drummer. Then I get really offended because I worked so hard buying all these.
Listen too much to trap.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, yeah. Too much trap music can make you allergic to.
You can never have too many hi-hats, man. Come on. Come on. Trap music.
Yeah,
That's the bread and butter, man.
I know. No, but yeah, I mean, I to be honest, I really love trap music. For me, it's like I mean, how can you say I love trap music? It's like it's a very big genre by itself. But
Trap is a big genre. Who you listening to right now? What trap artist are you listening to right now? Hold on.
I like the I don't know if it's trap, but I like this Snake song. Is it Little Kid or Snake? Snake. Have you heard it? It's I think oh yeah, haven't you heard it? It's like
I'm, I'm,
Big and
I'm
sweet.
maybe I'm just not picking it up how you saying it.
no, it's just called Snake. The song is called Snake with Lil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you.
It's so what I love about a lot of the sounds from for that like inspiration wise, I feel like it doesn't have a lot of pretentiousness in it. It's just it can be so simple. It's not over anything. It's just like
Mm.
it's just a beat, and it could be the drums aren't necessarily hitting really hard either, and I don't know. I just
The
love it.
hi-hat.
Yeah, the
That's
hi hat
good.
can create allergies, but to some I don't know. Blah 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 blah.
Next
I
question.
Yeah,
love
next
this.
question.
I love how we're no this is a great tangent, but I'll bring it back. So again, this is Receiver. We're on with Little Dragon, and again, if you're in the chat, feel free to throw questions. But before we do that, I want to get to another song that y'all performed. So tell us about what we're about to hear.
You're gonna hear a song called "Hold On"
Mm.
from our new album.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
let's go.
Let's go. Let's
Another
go.
new song for you guys. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Where you going? Where you going? Hold on. Where you going? Where you going? Baby, stay. Time has changed us so every way. Beyond our dreams and more. The stars are not aligned. Say farewell another million times. Hold on, sun, reflect every side of you. Better yet, parts you never knew. Break a million times. Reflections in the light. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Where you going? Where you going? Hold on. Where you going? Where you going?
Yo. All right. Hold on once again by Little Dragon. That's a dope record. That is a dope record,
Thank you.
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
it's really cool to hear it live. But I mean, speaking of which, I've read a couple interviews that y'all have said that was one that you're really looking forward to performing live, and you can now.
No, I know.
No. Oh, yeah, that we can't play. Yeah.
Yeah, we
No,
can't.
we went on tour. We did 3 shows. One show in Gothenburg, one in Stockholm, and one in
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. And then we had to turn around, come
Mm.
back home. We were ready to do a European tour and then to come out to the States and do a U.S. tour. So yeah, I mean, I guess we're just happy to be healthy.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, But yeah, we're really looking forward to playing the new songs. So that's a bummer, but
Somehow it feels like an was it implosion, the opposite of an explosion. It feels
Yeah,
like
it was such a build-up.
yeah,
Like
we
so
were-
much to do before the
yeah,
everyone was stressed out. Yeah,
and we've been rehearsing more than ever. I feel, and like to the
Mm.
point where it actually feels super good.
to the point where action sounds good.
Because a lot of times when we rehearse a lot, you just rehearse you build up a lot of stress. But I felt like we rehearsed on a in a
Deeper
new
level.
on a deep level. Yeah,
Yeah.
we created this big bomb of music, and then we had nowhere to let it explode. It was just let's go home again. Oh, so it was
Oh
But
man.
yeah, I mean, everyone's in the same boat. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many artists who were about to go on the road and had to go back home. So
And when we started touring in around here, it was already building up to, you know, countries were closing down. So
Italy was.
Italy was, you know,
Yeah.
so and we were about to play in Italy a week into the tour, and it was still not confirmed that it would be cancelled. So I was very uneasy going out on tour. So
Hmm.
it was kind of a relief in that way because there
yeah,
were so many nerves. Like, everyone was just like, oh, you're gonna go on tour, and I'm like, ooh, really? Um,
yeah,
so, and then of course we were having our doubts too. Like, are we really supposed to be doing this, or, you know,
Really.
It's
at
hard
the,
to make decisions and
yeah.
hard to know what to do.
yeah.
Yeah, luckily we didn't have. Well, the funny thing is, we decided like 1 hour. We were gonna play in Berlin the next day after Copenhagen, and we decided that to go home after like having like a little
Wow.
meeting. Yeah, and 1 hour later, the promoter called and said that they weren't allowing any gatherings.
More than
Um,
10 people.
more than 10 people or something. So, it was going to be canceled anyway. But
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, y'all are in Sweden. Things are really different from a lot of other places in the world, where it seems like the restrictions are. It looks like a lot more lax than a lot of other places.
Mm.
It's more recommendations than law enforced restrictions, I would say. I
Mhm.
think, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
people are really,
But I mean, I took the commuter train to Gothenburg, and it's empty. So
Really.
people are taking it,
hmm,
and those who can work from home work from home, and
Mhm.
we had some serious issues with
yeah, elderly homes.
elderly homes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
with
y'all, because y'all are the first group that I've talked to where everybody's actually been able to be in the same place at the same time.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, we've been together all the time.
yeah,
I mean,
pretty
Really?
much.
pretty much.
well, I've been feeling sick. So I haven't been here for weeks, for some weeks, but, you know, that's,
But it's hard. I mean, it's hard to know because it's a new situation. Like, it's hard to know what is the best. Because I was just talking
yeah.
to someone the other day about, like, okay, Spain. So when they're going out of the lockdown, everyone's kind of allowed these a few hours to go out. I don't know. It's probably updated now. There's so many rumors going around. So but like, everybody going out of a lockdown at the same time, I don't know. Like, it's not like the virus is gonna disappear. It's just because here, I guess in Sweden, that there's trying to think of ways to not put too much pressure on the medical care, so that so that there is people to handle it. I don't think that anyone is thinking that they're gonna be completely free from it, unless you are in a risk group. So I guess it is a bit of a different mentality, but yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Happy
It's
that
been
we're
it's
not.
been weird. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm happy we're not in charge of the
yeah,
regulations.
yeah, we're not the
It
state
must be a very tough situation
epidemiologists.
to be.
It's been weird seeing protesters in the U.S. holding up signs saying "Be like Sweden." That's been
Oh,
strange.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where.
yeah.
And with the machine guns, like in
Oh,
Yeah,
Michigan,
It,
that's
yeah,
a little bit scary.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I think we talked about not talking about Trump, but it's a bit strange that he. I don't know, but what we are getting fed here from media, it's a lot of. I see Trump talking a lot about what America is doing about the coronavirus situation, but here you hardly ever see the Swedish prime minister talk about what we should do. It's always the state epidemiologist, and it's a bit
Mm.
in my head. It's like, but does Trump really know? Is he has he studied virology, or is he really a? I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway.
Anyways, I
Anyway,
mean, each country is trying their best out of their what they are, with the situation and the systems that they have, I suppose, but we are all suffering, that's for sure.
Mm. Then hopefully we can look back and learn for the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Say
Yeah.
next. Whoa, whoa, that's a whole.
Yeah.
but I
you're
mean
you're
that's
you're
the kind of
ahead.
think about the next one
Yeah.
No, you're
as
not you're
well.
not wrong. You're not wrong. I feel bad though. I feel like I derailed you a little bit, but I want to talk about the track. So
Yeah,
tell me a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, right. Especially because we got people definitely in the comments who want to know about this. So by the way, if you're in the comment section, if you're in the live stream, once again, we're hanging out with Little Dragon right now, and in the YouTube or in the Facebook. If you have any comments or questions you want to ask, questions are probably preferable. Throw them in. We'll get to it. But a lot of people want to know about the song, about "Hold On." How did that come together? And then also, I'd love to know about the lyrics because it's real bright, but there's a lot. I think there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
Well, it started. Hello,
Hello.
Can you hear
Hello.
you
us?
hear us?
I can hear
We're
you.
back.
Yep, we're
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It started as a more electronic track, and then it had kind of to me, it had a vibe that was reminiscent of Unfinished Sympathy with Massive Attack, kind of. Um,
Mhm.
and which is one of my favorite tracks. There are a few chords there that just made me think of that in a good way. But then the song completely transformed as we worked on it and became it's something completely different once the bass was added and keys and
Drums.
drums and vocals and everything. But it had it. I guess certain tracks just have a vibe that speaks. That has it feels like it has something special um, uh, early on, and that was one of those tracks that
Mhm.
just had a vibe, and it,
Mm.
it transformed into something even more special. So.
Yeah. It was also maybe one of the first tracks where we um, correct me if I'm wrong, but like we decided to not be so precious with the original demo production, like and let to see if the song and composition could stand by itself.
Yeah, it's true.
It was
Yeah,
kind of a house track in the beginning,
yeah.
um, and
Really?
it took a different turn. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like you say, Fred, that was like the opening. That was the first trials of this. What we've been talking about, playing the bass and having more live feel, and that song probably sort of reassured us that it's possible. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of different things happening on this. You can be specifically for you. How was the songwriting process different on this record?
Well, let me think. Let me try to remember.
Were you laying in the sofa, maybe?
Yeah, I was probably laying in this sofa, listening over and over and over to the track. Um, I think that it started with just like the kind of repetitive hook, um, and uh, and that was sort of it. That was what I had in the beginning, um, which I think was just improvised. And then I sat with it and I started writing a more, you know, story behind it. Um, um,
A story behind it. Okay, now you got to elaborate. What's the story behind the lyrics?
well, the story behind the lyrics is like almost like you're talking to yourself. So it kind of it's parallel to the whole album title, thing. So it's like you're talking to a former self, um, that you're not ready to let go of, but
But you're noticing it, or
but
what?
but you kind of know that you have to transform and you have to let go. And this is why I don't like talking too much about my lyrics, because I feel like people can interpret it however they want. Whatever it means to them is fine, but that's
That's
my
some
thing.
deep stuff.
Yeah.
Do the others of you have different interpretations? Because for a second, it looked like one of y'all were kind of surprised. You're, oh, really? That's what it is?
Well, the
You never told me
truth is,
that.
I think we have quite a few songs where that, let's say, the lyrics are not always what everybody listens to
No.
in the band.
If you should ask us to sing any lyric of any Little Dragon song, the chance that we
You'd be
nail
surprised.
one song is very low. you know. And I think we're all doing back vocals also, but
Mumbling.
mumbling,
Sorry.
sort of,
Most,
something similar to perhaps what you wrote.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then when we do live sessions and you solo the backing vocals, that's when, you know,
That's when you mute that channel.
that's when they're revealed.
Yeah.
You don't know this song yet?
That
But
is too good. I love that. Yo, I want to get. Let me see. I want to get to some of these questions that we have here. Let me see. These are from the chat once again. One with Little Dragon, and if you have some questions you want to ask, feel free to throw them in the chat. But let me get to a couple of these. Let's see. So Jonathan on YouTube wants to know. You mentioned this a little bit, but if you had to distill it to one thing, what do you miss the most from playing live?
The audience.
The crowd,
Yeah.
yeah. The connection with the crowd, and that it's a real high. Like we've been doing, you know, uh, live things here, and you know, you can get in the zone, but when you have a crowd, it can peak to a level that's really euphoric. So that's what
it's a
Yeah.
big.
I felt, I mean, the first kind of live thing we did here in the studio for YouTube, it felt like the links were, yeah,
Yeah.
in a way.
It was almost a bit sad.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
shall we clap ourselves after each track?
But I think
Yeah,
playing live is a big with a crowd is the big celebration of being in the now and the present,
Yeah.
and that's what we really were longing for, because we've been scratching our brains doing an album. It always, even though we had a lot of fun, it's a very analytical process. So there's that's that kind of balance you need as a band, I think, for us at least, to go out on tour and just make a new version every night,
Yeah.
and be in the present, and then also see people dance and get free.
yeah,
I think it's almost that thing with like that everybody's feeling now. It's that kind of collective experience where you lose yourself. It might be like music for our example, but also sports. Like with you do something together with other people, you might not communicate, but there's just this feeling of energy, of some kind of focus,
Yeah.
that is very much needed,
Yeah.
especially right now.
Hard to find a surrogate for.
Yeah.
I want to get to another one here. Let's see. I like this one. Okay, Jeffrey on Facebook wants to know, what song on this album was the biggest departure? What was the biggest risk for you?
Risk. Maybe Kids, because Kids was one of those songs that we weren't sure of if we were gonna, because we had a few tracks we wanted on the album, and we kind of decided early on to not go beyond like 11 or 10 songs, whatever. Um, and I guess, but then I guess because it's for us, like a more experimental song maybe.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. So and I in a way, we kind of had to remind ourselves like we love that. We love um, being more surreal as well. So because we kind of went back to kind of in a way classic form. Um, but I don't know if that's a risk. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I have another one where somebody wants to know, are there any collaborations you're planning or that you're wishing you could get done?
collaborations, I think we're planning some. I can't remember, but no. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're in the planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really
They're
talk
in the
about it.
planning.
Yeah.
Top secrets.
Top secret planning. I figure. I figure. Man, there was something I've seen. You mentioned it a couple places, but the track list for this one seems really intentional. Can you tell me about that for this album?
I mean,
What is the track listing now? No, I'm just kidding.
no, but it was. I mean,
Yeah.
we really messed around with it a lot, trying different orders and um,
It has like
uh,
an A and B side.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of thinking of it in the vinyl classic, A side, B side, and having one sound in the on the one side and it sort of morphing into another sound. Um,
But it's yeah, and it feels like maybe we are in a time now where people don't really bother listening to a whole album. I don't know. I don't know how like people on Spotify music and like how people enjoy music. I feel like it's a lot of playlists and stuff, but hopefully there was somebody who listened to the record from the album from beginning to end. You know.
Is that important for you? That's there's somebody that goes through the whole experience from top to bottom?
I guess in a way because otherwise we wouldn't be taking our time to even bother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's okay if it's just me.
It might be just us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, most of the time you make music for yourself, isn't it? I mean, you're happy that people like it, but you want to please your inner artistic visions.
Yeah.
Mhm. Was there? I wonder because you were saying that you're all really having a lot of conversations now, especially during the process of this album. Um, the the focus that you're talking about in this album on things like growing and things like mortality and things like change. Uh, was there any particular moment or catalyst that prompted that for any of you individually? Like, was there anything particular in your life that made you think, "Yo, maybe I need to
Yeah,
start thinking about this more"?
yeah. Some of us did. I did.
Go
I
on.
yeah. Okay.
Come
Okay.
on,
I'll
man.
tell you. No, but I did.
Heroin.
I did heroin. No, no, no. No, I did. No, I did like a two. Actually, it was and
I
the
think I
health.
lost.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah. Say that again. I think we lost you for a half second. Go ahead.
Yukimi was she was bombarding my brains with this book that she read about fasting, and not to eat food for days, just drink water and the health benefits. And I was already sort of, oh, I'm getting old. I need to think about my health. And then eventually, I was the test pilot because you were bombarding me, but I was like, okay, so let's do it. But you never did it. Instead, I did it, and so I did two rounds of yeah, a couple of days, 5 days or something, and then with no food,
Whoa.
and it was very spiritual. You try it as well, Fred. It's a fasting. It's a hell of a thing. It's
Yeah.
it's wonderful because it sort of strengthens your confidence as a person that I can actually survive for a couple of days without food. But on my as a outcome, as a by side effect of my fasting was that I sort of my inner emotional life sort of that I have been pushed down came up, and I cried, and I was thinking about my mortality, and I was
Wow.
coming here like crying in the kitchen. I'm sure you guys were like, "What's happening to Eric?"
It was very blue.
Yeah, I was a blue little
Wow.
bird, and but no, to be honest, I think it was. I'm thankful. I think I'm still digesting what I'm still like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Figuring
I'm
it
still
out.
dealing with it. But that was at least on my end a catalyst for the theme of the album.
Wow. That is
Hmm.
wild. I mean, I think that catalyst, right, that you're talking about, where that makes you think about yourself, your own stance with how you talk to yourself, right? Who you believe you are, things like that, and how you interact with the rest of the world. I feel like this moment is going to be that for a lot of people. This
Yeah.
moment that
Yeah.
we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully we dare to sort of meet the all these emotions that are coming to us, that we're not just like we had the running away sort of from whatever we can get out of this, and like drink it away, sort of drown it in other
Thanks.
in other things. Hopefully we will like hopefully we dare to look the whatever we are scared of in the eye, sort of, and get the best out of it, you know.
Shoot. Makes it sound like Hold On's going to be a good song to listen to in a couple years. Think back about what you're going through.
Yeah. Oh, oh dear.
Oh dear is right.
Oh dear. Yeah, yeah.
Well, yo, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat. You've been rocking with the receiver and of course Little Dragon. And speaking of Hold On, we have a little bit more of Hold On, kind of a bonus from what we just saw. So let's go check that out. Thanks so much for joining us,
Yeah.
y'all.
Thank
You
you.
Thank you.
stay safe. Take care.